It is the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series, our 2024 season opener from the virtual Daytona International Speedway. I am Emerson Arden, and I have my colleague Jonathan Byer alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening, and we're excited to be bringing you live coverage from the virtual Daytona Beach, Florida. And Jonathan, just over a month ago, you were here, and I was here to crown some champions here at SRN. The holidays, they've come and gone, New Year's come and gone, and we're ready for the 2024 reset where it all begins tonight.
That's absolutely right. We're ready to rumble. It's always a good time to kick off another season of Speed Racing Network competition. We had an amazing couple series last season, ready to get started for our first one this year for season 6.
Absolutely, and here we are again at the fantastic Daytona International Speedway. Last weekend we had these guys go through their qualification duels, and so that means tonight that Jonathan, our starting grid should be set, so we should be able to get right into it. Actually, it'll be up on the screen as we speak, and let's go through it. So here on the first page, it's Zachary Hines, Aaron Gerwitz, the front row. It's Ben Park and Ben Marlow. It's the Double Ben Show in row 2. Scott Kallah and Wally Babb make up row number 3. Gregory Thurlow and Kyle Ryan, row 4. Matthew Greathouse and Nathan De La Rosa, the top 10.
Got Carl Burke here in 11th, Jason Green in 12th. 13th, Spencer Brown. 14th, Michael Sidor. 15th, Austin DeLong. 16th, Jeffrey Radke. 17th, Bob Nestor, it says. 18th, Dustin Sweetier. 19th, Daniel Milligan. And 20th, Jeffrey Vickery.
We'll find our way back to 21st. We'll find Andrew Harris. He'll be with Walt Lepicki in row number 11. Sean Corcoran and Jason Crackey make up row 12. It'll be Kyle Spees and Dalton McKenney, 25th and 26th. Daniel Park and Corey Stahl will make up 27th and 28th. Row 15 on the grid, Aiden Graham and Dylan Godinez.
And then to round out the rest of our field here, we got Byron McDonald in 31st, Jason Tripp in 32nd, Derek De Silva 33rd, James Jackson in 34th, Joshua Marcy 35th, and Sean Long rounding us out here in 36th.
Big field here, JB. 36 drivers here ready to rock at the Daytona International Speedway, and they are just getting up off the pit lane onto the banking, and here they are. JB, this has been a fantastic offseason, getting ready to get back to the action here for SRN. I know I've been ready. I know you've been hard at work this offseason, hammering it away, and for yourself, how does it feel being back here at Daytona, the season starting, the 6th iteration of SRN, with 36 drivers coming to play tonight?
It's always fun to see what hard work we put in the off season, what it comes to when we start the season. We got an incredible group of drivers. The trucks are always really popular, full field, should be that way pretty much the entire season. We're ready to see some of the changes we've made and how that works out, but we're also really excited to see some new drivers. We have a lot of new drivers, new faces in the series this year, so we're looking forward to learning a little bit more about them and see what they can do.
Absolutely, that's the thing we are all excited for, the new drivers. Who knows what we're going to see tonight? Who knows what new faces are going to reemerge? Let's see how these drivers will mix the old and the new. And as the field of 36 Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series vehicles work their way off of the famed 31-degree banking here at the Daytona International Speedway, it's Jeffrey Vickery and Aaron Gerwitz as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane for the first time in 2024. Racing will commence here from Daytona. 1 lap removed from the start of the Glytch Truck Series season opener here from Daytona. It's Vickery, it's Gerwitz, the front row, Speeds, Kalaw, hot in pursuit as well. Double wide, this field is all the way back.
Good, clean racing so far. 2 distinct lines. That's kind of what you'll see here in the trucks. Daytona not quite as wide as Talladega, so 3 wide is kind of a stretch, but with 60 laps of action, these guys are going to be plenty patient for the first little bit. We do have that stage break that'll pay out points at lap 15, but you can make a big difference in position in just a couple of laps. So these guys are going to settle in right here and kind of ride this out, feel it out, maybe try to find some teammates, and start developing a strategy for how they want to play it out.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as strategy, we don't expect, typical tire and fuel strategy to come to play today. No, we're more talking about, draft strategy, who you partnered with, where you set yourself up in the field here. Because for all it's worth, really all you're worried about today in terms of pitting is fuel. These tires, they don't wear, especially in a 60 lap race, they won't wear out to the point where you're worried about tire wear. You're worried about your fuel, if anything, on a pit stop. We already got a 3-wide move here in the heart of the pack. Looks like that is looks like the 30 machine. That is the 30 of Kyle Ryan dropping back there, so that moves Andrew Harris and the rest of that outside lane up. He's got Harris, Green, DeLong all hot in pursuit. Kyle Ryan opting for a more conservative approach to the start of today's event as he works his way past Carl Burke, Derek Da Silva, and Ryan opting not to go for stage points, at least this early in the round.
Yeah, Kyle being one of my drivers on my team that competes in this series, kind of know what they're thinking going in. They always really want to protect the vehicle. That way they have a chance at the end. So he knows there's not too much sense in fighting for too much here early. So protect it so he can be there at the end. I mean, stage points are a luxury. They're a good thing to have. Stage winner does get playoff points. But, at what cost? And so you sacrifice a race win for a playoff point. That's for everybody to decide for themselves. But they're definitely going with the more conservative approach. There's a lot more of his teammates back there as well, so probably a good way to retreat and do it early while you still have a chance.
This time by the stripe, Aaron Gerwitz gets the nod over Jeffrey Vickery, and it's Gerwitz hot out in front with Scott Kalaw hot in the pursuit, giving that great push. Now Kalaw very, very sideways behind the 9 machine to Gerwitz, having to reacclimatize themselves to the slipstream here with these trucks. Vickery and Speeds down the inside. They get to work quickly down on the inside, and you see this field for the most part all put together. We got a couple stragglers out around the field. Walt Lepicki down in 35th did not make the initial grid, and Jason Kratke as well, also having some grid issues. But for the most part, we have 34 trucks here in this grid, and we'll ride on board here. This is Nathan De La Rosa. You can see the field, 34 trucks. That is a lot of vehicles here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, not gonna jinx anything here, but one slip up can cause a lot of carnage. That's kind of what makes these plate races or super speedway races, I guess you could say, entertaining. People always look for some of those bigger incidents, and it's just a product of all these guys so close together, racing right on top of each other. One small mistake, or in the unfortunate world of online racing, one net code or internet mistake can cause a lot of issues. So guys are giving each other a little bit extra room right now, because they know there's still a long way to go.
Absolutely, and the field working very calm for the start of this race, but again, we are only working lap 6 of 60 here in the early going. Vickery now hard out in front. He's got McKenney coming up, his teammate, looking to the outside here. It's going to be a threat level midnight front row. Working lap 7 of 61 here. That stage break is a coming at lap number 15, and we'll see which drivers will prevail in terms of stage one. For the first points of the season are up for grabs in just about 8 laps time.
Yep, stage points will be paid out all year, so we only have one stage in the Speed Racing Network races that happens 25% into the total race distance. It pays out the top 10 positions, with the stage winner getting that coveted playoff point. We can talk more about points when we get into it a little bit later, but that can come to play. We've seen our cut lines in the playoffs here historically come down to 1 or 2 points, and so you never know when you can stockpile one of those and when it might matter. As the field starts to work around, it looks like the lap truck of Walt Lepicki there.
I believe that one is Kratky. What Lipicki is a little further up the road. Oh, we got trucked sideways in the center of 1 and 2. Great save there from Scott Kalal to not go around there. And oh my goodness, that could have been mayhem early here.
And that just shows you the trouble of going 3 wide, what some of the possibilities are. You know, that truck was a little bit off the pace. Maybe the closing rate was a little bit higher than some people expected. But, you know, they were able to work themselves out of it and keep it pointed in the right direction. So no harm, no foul.
Great stuff to keep this field in one piece as we work lap number 8. We're coming to the completion of 8 here. Vickery still leads Kyle Spees. Ben Morrow, a newcomer here to the Speed Racing Network. Not a newcomer to me. I've seen Ben Morrow compete in the Outlaw Sim series. He's got a lot of pace. Looking to see him prevail here in Speed Racing Network. We'll see how he stacks up when we get to the meat of the schedule here. Now a good run from Gerwitz and Kalal. They were just about sideways 1 lap ago here, JB, and they have rocketed back to the race lead.
Yeah, they are making some good time together. You know, some people naturally draft better with others. Usually you find that with teammates, but sometimes it's not necessarily the case. They kind of just get that concept of when to push and when to kind of back off. Walt Lipicki taking a different line through the field than we saw Kratky do when he got lapped. So that shows you that these lap trucks, there's multiple avenues they can have. I kind of like that Walt Lipicki approach. Kind of got down on the apron, maybe a little late there, but got out of the way. Lets the leaders battle it out. We'll join back into the pack and hopefully hang on to that draft and probably battle the 54 for the lucky dog.
Absolutely. And for Walt there, the intent was there. Maybe the pack caught him a little quicker than he anticipated, but the intent was just to get out of the way. He doesn't want to ruin anyone's day. And so we work lap 10 here very early for anything to happen. Walt's going to hope that he can get back on the lead lap with a lucky dog later on in the event. You know, potentially, yeah, at that stage, Caution's going to be battling Kratky here for that stage caution here, that lucky dog that's soon to be the topic of conversation here as we come off of turn number 4. It'll be 5 laps left in stage 1. It's Vickery and Gerwitz, the same top 2 we've been talking about all day long, and here they go. It's Gerwitz getting the lap there at the stripe, and we're talking about Vickery and Gerwitz, but this is really coming down to Spees versus Kalal. Who's the better pusher?
Well, and we're at a super speedway race, and Kyle Spees is up front. I don't know if we're particularly surprised about that one. Tends to do very well at this kind of racing, just has that knack for it. An incredible pusher, incredible lane manager as well when he gets out front. So Vickery's in good hands there with Spees right behind him. But the top line's got a lot of good trucks in it, some seasoned vets. Should have some good momentum coming off the corners. The trick will just be getting to the corner of the 51 truck and not letting him run both lines.
So here we are working lap 12, and everyone's still double wide. We've seen a couple 3 wide moves in the heart of the pack, but you can really expect maybe the intensity is going to ramp up here to be a little closer to that lap 15 mark. And so again, it's Vickery, Spees, and Morrow, the top 3 on the inside lane. Gerwitz, Kalal, and Harris, the top 3 on the outside lane. A couple of newcomers up here. How about Sean Long there in the 84 machine? He's there in 7th. I think the first, other than Morrow, I guess Morrow and Sean Long, the 2 newcomers there on the inside lane, up inside the top 10, putting a good showing early.
Yeah, good show from some of our newer drivers. And while we have the chance to see so many of these trucks on the screen, let's take a second to appreciate some of the work that goes into painting these trucks and the sponsors. Oh, we got some action in the back.
Dalton McKinney hard at the outside wall. Oh my goodness!
Everybody avoids him. Like, the 7 got kind of tangled up in there. No caution. We stay green.
Yep.
Nothing blocking the track. Good job by everybody. That was right there in the middle of the pack. That could have been disastrous in a hurry. A lot of damage to the right front there, the 46. It looks like Greathouse there on the apron has quite a bit of damage as well.
Oh no, Greathouse coming down to a complete stop on the inside. That'll do it for Matthew Greathouse early on here into going here at Daytona, but no caution. We stay green. We'll grab a replay of that under our stage rate that comes in 2 laps from now. And so side by side to the start finish line, 2 laps to go, 5 miles to settle it here in stage 1, and Aaron Gerwitz leads the field here. Will he bring it back in 5 miles time? Kalal and Gerwitz, they both drop down.
Ooh, that's an aggressive move there by Scott Kalal. That that doesn't always work, but he made it work there. Late in the race, the 51 probably won't give him as much grace there.
Oh
Oh, there goes the 51. Vickery's around on the backstretch.
no! A lot of
I think he's
front
gonna
end
keep it.
damage. Oh my
I don't.
goodness.
Could have been neck-coated front-end damage because he didn't really hit anything very hard there. We'll have to go check out that replay too.
We'll keep an eye on that, but that kills the momentum of the inside line, JB. And now, look who's up front. It's Andrew Harris. He's got Jason Green hot in pursuit. He's got the long. They're trying to make it 3 wide. 1 lap to go here in stage number 1. It's Gerwitz and Harris.
I really like the position that 87 truck's in right now. That's where I would want to be if I was fighting for the win, or for the stage win right here. You got a really good pusher in Jason Green behind you. You can kind of drag down with the side draft on that inside line. You want that momentum coming out of 4. That's how you can get to the line first.
Well, here we go. Double wide down the back straightaway for the final time in stage number 1. It's Harris, Gerwitz, Green, DeLong, Kalal, Jackson, Babb, Corcoran, Spees, and Morrow, the top 10. Will that be the same top 10 in about a mile's time? Now, Harris really getting out to a good lead here. Gerwitz, Kalal, nothing to come up with on the inside. Out of turn number 4, the push, the darts to the line, and it's Andrew Harris who's going to win stage 1 here at Daytona.
Told you I liked where that 87 truck was positioned right there. Really good pushers, really good line right there behind him. That'll give him 10 bonus points, which always important. But then that coveted 1 playoff point as well.
So that'll do it for the stage. Waiting on the stage caution here from Race Control this evening. And there it is. The caution actually, yep, the caution has come out. Just not coming up on our end. There we go. Caution's out here at Daytona. And Andrew Harris with the stage win. And we have those top 10 results here. You can look at it. We have, well, Andrew Harris with the stage win. It's Jason Green who just pipped Aaron Gerwitz for second there. So Green second, Gerwitz third. DeLong gets 4th over Kalal 5th. Then it was James Jackson in 6th. Followed by Wally Babb 7th, Sean Corcoran 8th, Kyle Spees 9th, and looks like Ben Morrow ends up the top 10 there at the stripe. And so while these trucks are coming around for their pit stop here, we're going to go back and grab a replay and see what happened to a couple of those incidents here at the just before the stage break here, JB. There was a couple of really crazy incidents, and I think we'll find out here.
Thrown there, but definitely some action going on out there. A very eventful first 15 laps.
It looks like actually we're still looking for that incident here.
Yeah, this is the one where we saw the 46 get into the outside wall. Couldn't really tell what happened behind him. We know the 13 received some significant damage there. Oh, the 88 right behind him, yeah. It looks like.
Yeah, Godina's tangled up in that big time.
A really good job here keeping it up against the wall. It's what you want. This is what you don't want to do. Drive it back across the track. Whoa, that's Kyle Ryan there locking him up. He's going to need some new tires, but he saved that race truck for sure. Don't see what happened to Greathouse happening yet.
And for Greathouse, that one was intriguing. Greathouse is down here.
He's coming back up the track. Don't see any issues yet.
There's
a little scattering behind here.
Oh, he blows up. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
I wonder if he overheated before that incident. It was just bad timing, or if he got the slightest of hits in that incident, JB, and maybe the sim thought otherwise of that.
I don't know. The truck looks pretty clean.
Right.
You know, here at JBR, we don't build those engines, so you know, we're gonna have to send that back to the R&D department from Elmore and see what happened there. But yeah, it just blew up in the middle of the corner. That's extremely odd.
Look at one more look here up above, and looks like Godinez is already sideways getting into the quarter panel there of.
Oh yeah, sideways in the trial. Easy to do, easier than you think. These trucks do get a little light right there. Didn't have anybody pushing them per se, but great job by everybody right there. Oh, I don't know who that green and black truck was in front of Kyle right there, but that was extremely good wreck avoidance right there. Great job by these guys to get it slowed up, be paying attention. The teammates in front of them probably calling out what's going on. All the teammates can communicate with each other. So good work by everybody there. Unfortunately, we lost Greathouse in that incident somehow. The 46 can have some damage. He might still be decent in the draft. We'll have to see when he gets back up to speed.
Absolutely. So that was that incident. And we had one more with Vickery losing control here off of turn number 2. Looks like we've found the source of this incident. And so here is Jeffrey Vickery in line, and I believe you were right in calling to Shay B. We're going to see this one in slow-mo. Vickery, that third truck on the inside lane, right behind the 32 of Scott Kalal, and that truck, yeah, looks fine.
A bumper away from him, looks like. Speeds is off him a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the internet gremlins got us there.
Yeah.
I wonder if it predicted that truck in front of him was checking up, and the old net code took the front end of that 51 truck out. Little damage to Speeds there too. Doesn't look to be too bad, but that's where all the front end damage came there on the 51. Interesting.
Yeah, imagine.
Hey, you can see Scott Kalal kind of clips the apron right there, and it looks like it slows the truck down. And I think iRacing predicts that that's going to jack him up. Well, good job by the 75, 84, the rest of that line not to just accordion up there. Fortunate for the 51. Luckily, he didn't hit the inside wall as well, which would probably be even worse. Still quite a bit of damage on the front of that truck.
That's
crazy.
Might
be decent if he can keep the temps down, but you definitely not going to want him leading a line.
Unbelievable how no contact with another vehicle, and that truck is destroyed.
Well, in real life, you have shock mounts break, track bar mounts break, valve springs break. Here in the virtual sim world, we have just internet issues. That's our version of mechanical failures. Whether it's your equipment or just the server that we're on. Fortunate every time it affects your race, but it is kind of just one of those deals.
It's under the caution period here for the stage break, and pit stops on the horizon for these drivers. And it was a pretty good stage here. Again, I don't expect any of these drivers to take tires, but definitely fuel these bad boys up. Well, I guess the ones maybe involved in the spins, or as he said, Kyle Ryan locking it up to avoid the incident, they're going to need tires. But for the majority of the field, no,
you're not going to need them. If you don't care about how fast your stop is, you might just take them. These drivers do have 3 sets. We try to give them 1 set pure fuel run plus an additional set for all these races. That's the goal. But yeah, if you lock them up, you're definitely going to want them. Other than that, I think you'll just take fuel, fill it on up, make sure you pack it as full as possible. It's never too late to start thinking backwards in this race and how many laps you need of fuel to get to the end. Definitely still have to make another stop for everybody, but spend that extra time on pit road now, maybe filling it all the way full so you don't have to later.
Absolutely. So most of the field coming down to the service of their pit crews, and looks like it was Kratke getting the lucky dog over Walt Lepicki.
A couple of these guys getting tires, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like DeLong wins the race off pit lane there.
So he must have just taken fuel only. Good chance if you did get any little bit of damage there, fix it now, right? You're not guaranteed another caution when you have to pit again, and you don't want to spend any extra time on pit road under green, especially if you're trying to pit with teammates and stay in a draft. If you get left out on green flag pit stops, your race is essentially probably going to be over, unless you get lucky and catch a caution at the right time.
Absolutely. I agree with everything there, JB. So this is going to be one of those plate races. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very intriguing to see how the draft strategy plays out, who puts themselves in those right positions. While we're working this first caution of the day, we're going to take a step aside. We're going to catch our a commercial, a couple messages from our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Don't you go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Emerson Art and Jonathan Byer here, bringing you coverage of the season opener from Daytona. We're getting ready for the restart here after stage number 1 has concluded. And JB, it was a thrilling first stage, a little bit of carnage in that first stage as well. We're getting ready to get back to the action with a whole new kind of redo out in the front.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see any of those other internet issues cause problems. We've seen a couple of them already. That could have been what happened to the 13.2 now that we know what happened there with the 51. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. That could be a play going forward.
Absolutely. And so here we go as the iRacing.com safety vehicle approaches off of turn number 4. And finds its safety down the pit lane to field in the hands of Austin DeLong, and racing once again here from Daytona. Wally Babb clearing to the race lead. He's got Speeds, DeLong hot in pursuit. Sean Corcoran riding that high side, trying to get something going in that 74 machine. Now DeLong, he jumps up. And here we go, side by side here. Here comes Scott Collot right back into the mix, nearly 3 wide up here. Everybody's trying to find their place back in line, get back in rhythm like they were running before. Maybe good time to try to find some teammates, right? You're going to have to make another pit stop. You want to try to be positioned with those guys, so you see a little bit more shuffling there towards the back. I think that's a product of those guys trying to find each other and get lined up while they have the chance. Absolutely. See, the field is all packed up, very organized right now. As you know, that stage break, it kind of is a race reset, right? That was kind of a race practice for most of these guys. Now this is the real race. Now, you know, for most of them, this is lap 1. The opening laps of the actual race. Call it a 40-lap race here, 100 miles. Kind of think about the Indy Lights race, the Firestone 100, right? It's just a quick sprint. Maybe one pit stop, but it's quick to some, and it's quick in certain standards. But 40 laps is also a lot of time to sit in line, so a lot to think about. And what could be a short amount of time here, especially with this many trucks, things can happen very quickly. Yep, and this is usually the point in the race where we see laps just kick off, settling in, if you will. Like we talked about finding your teammates, starting to think about strategy. When you're thinking about those things, you're thinking less about how do I get my truck from 20th to 1st. That's what we see in the last 5 laps, and that's why we usually see quite a bit of sketchy action in those laps with more aggressive moves and blocks. But here you're just seeing everybody try to find the line where they want to be, maybe find a spot where they can see really well to maybe avoid an incident. But then I think a lot of these guys are also thinking about the internet issues that we've seen, right? Maybe giving each other extra space, maybe want to see how that develops.
just in case that is a major factor in the race going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, for the most part, most of these guys do know one another, but there is a good bit of new names as well. We don't know everyone's connectivity. We don't know everyone's racing style, and that's what you're trying to figure out. That's what that first stage was really to figure out for. But also the early going of stage 2, you can start to figure out as well. And then we just had somebody really dart all the way off the racing surface there. Looks like Spencer Brown's coming in here, and he got a pass-through penalty for changing lanes before the start-finish line. So
yep, and rule that is being closer policed by Speed Racing Network admin staff this year. It has been in the rulebook in the past, just not constantly looked at. A couple of the team guys brought that up as an issue after last season, so we're going to keep a closer eye on that. So drive-through penalty, yes, if you do change lanes before that start-finish line. You can also get one for driving through pit boxes. Another thing that will be a little bit closer looked at this year.
And we did have one of those penalties under that stage caution. I believe it was Corey Stahl getting the penalty there for driving through too many pit boxes on pit entry.
Yes, and if it's under caution, you just go to the rear of the field. But under green, it is a drive-through, so you definitely don't want to be doing that under green. But it is also just a courtesy thing to stay right on pit road as long as possible before your box, and that'll obviously prevent any issues.
Actually, check that driver was Sean Long. That was the driver who got the penalty for driving through too many pit boxes. But we continue on. Up front, it's Wally Babbitt, Austin DeLong going on up here. Sean Long, you see he's already up here from starting to EOL at the back of the field for his penalty. Already back up inside the top 10, up in 9th. But Bab and DeLong battle it out for that top spot. It's DeLong up high. And Corcoran giving a great push there. It's DeLong getting to the lead there at the start-finish line. Jeffrey Vickery trying to rejoin the action. He's going to fall another lap off the pace. Jeffrey Vickery there. Looks like he's about 4 laps down now, and we'll continue on. Now Bab with a huge run there, and there's that guy once again, JB. Kyle Spees giving a great push. He's also got Scott Kalaha in pursuit as well.
Yep, and unlike NASCAR, we do not have a rule about locking bumpers here. And so Speeds can go low kind of on the bumper of the 99. Maybe not in the corners, just for a safety aspect, but on the straightaways, you can just push them all the way down. Speed's one of the best at it. That's why you always see him up front here at this kind of racing.
We gotta turn around.
84's around.
Sean Long, this is going to be a big one. Many trucks involved. Hard to the... Yep. Oh, my goodness.
Messers.
Gratke, De Silva.
5, yeah, looks like.
Godinez.
88.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, what a mess.
Still sideways. Looks like these guys in the back just stopped. Probably a good idea.
Graham.
Ooh, that truck is toasted. 36.
Oh, my
damage.
goodness.
Couple guys, maybe just a slight little fender bender. I only saw a couple of whole bumpers laying around, so that's probably a good sign. 38 looks pretty good there. A little scuff on the side of the 3, last year's champion, Jeffrey Radke.
So we're gonna
maybe a little bit of back end damage on that 3 truck as well.
We have to go back and investigate.
29 is missing the whole front bumper.
Oh goodness gracious.
84, that's not gonna go well for straight line speed.
We're gonna go ahead and go back and figure out what happened here for this replay.
I saw the 35 of Marcy right here kind of make contact with the 84.
Yeah, from that top
Marcy's
side.
Trying to get in line.
Slight contact there to the left rear of Sean
I don't
Long.
even know if they're touching. I think this might be another one of those internet gremlins. Oh, Andrew Harris got a piece of that down there.
This one's going to get huge here.
53 gets through the middle of that.
Wow.
And then
that might prove huge later, man.
De La Rosa is going through the grass. I think he's going to come out of this unscathed. Maybe a little landscaping on his way through. Gerwitz does a great job here. I think he's going to make it through okay. There's the damage to the 29. These guys just wrong place. 36 almost makes it through, but is just caught up in that.
Goodness
Big
gracious.
hit for the, I think that's the 65 truck.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the 84 is doing handstands.
Oh,
He got
he.
run over by the 5.
Oh, goodness gracious!
That's where that bumper came from.
Wow, wow, wow!
The guys
Big,
in the
big
very
hits.
back are just coming to a stop. That's always the best idea. If you got nothing behind you, you're not gonna get in trouble for stopping.
Yeah.
Just getting out of the way. Little bit of damage down there to the 3. You see the 3 and the 75, kind of some door contact. Nothing big. Those trucks will probably be okay.
29. Yeah,
55's going through the
there's that bumper from
grass.
the 29. Wow.
The 38 is just driving it right here, right in the middle. Trucks everywhere. We saw that truck was already clean, so
Look at
great
Walt,
job
man.
there.
He just went from the
All of
banking
50
down to
is
the apron. Here he's coming back up. Oh my goodness.
sometimes you just gotta skate your way through it. Great job. You see
Wow.
him come slow down and kind of just watch. And
Parking lot
then
back here,
those
man. Oh my
guys, yeah,
goodness.
and it's also dangerous trying to come back through. If you're one of those guys that did stop, it's better just to sit there. You see Kyle Ryan doing that back there, waiting for all that to unfold. The 7, Dan Park, same thing. Let all those trucks get it sorted out, so that way they don't pull back in front of you or hit you. Great job by those two to keep it clean, and that's part of their strategy too. That's why sometimes you see those guys fade back there and kind of ride and let these trucks self-eliminate. Like to see that contact again here.
Yeah.
Maybe from a different angle, see if we can see if those trucks actually came together. It seemed very odd, like Marcy was going to squeeze in that line and then decided not to.
See it right there. He was going down there, but I think iRacing predicted he was going to continue on
Oh,
that
yeah.
trajectory. And
Yeah,
that's
because
where
the
that netcode
84 is
comes
not
in.
taking a right there, so that's definitely a netcode incident.
Oh my
And
goodness. That's so
that's
unfortunate.
that's a part of the track where we see it quite a bit. The tri-oval's a sneaky part. A lot of these tracks that have curved front stretches tend to find that as an issue for some reason. iRacing just predicting the wrong place. Usually it's a little bit tighter window than that. Like that was kind of egregious, but sometimes it's the unfortunate circumstance, like we talked about before. Sometimes the internet just
Right there.
creates
Oh
issues.
my
Oh
goodness.
wow, that's a massive hit.
Yeah, hits there for everyone down here. Like
Some of
we
these
got.
trucks will be okay.
Yeah.
Like that door damage isn't going to be a big deal. I worry about trucks like the 87, the 65, the 84. Missing larger pieces. That's not going to be good. Engine damage too, usually with those trucks. And that's not something you can afford to do here.
Oh.
Wow, 31 5. Good job at not coming together right there. And that's why you see those guys in the back. Like I said, just wait for them to sort that out and live to fight another lap.
So that was that. We're gonna get back to our caution period here.
Wonder if we'll see anybody stop here. I mean, I think you still have to stop again to make it on fuel. These trucks do run 60% of the real life fuel load. Not sure how many laps that equates to. Didn't hear a lot of guys putting in a lot of fuel run practice like they will most weeks. So, maybe if you're in the back, go ahead and top it off, spend less time on pit road later. And these guys still trying to get it sorted out. It's going to take a while to realign everybody after a larger wreck like that. Get everybody sorted back in line.
So. We're going to be coming back here for the restart here. Working lap 29 of 61. Pit stops have come and gone. It's Carl Burke out in front here, JB, and this is going to be a fun one.
We saw him make that slick move through that wreck earlier. So
Oh, yeah.
maybe he wants to see that clean racetrack in front of him for a little bit. Looks like the guys that stopped a lot of the damaged trucks didn't see a lot of the guys with clean trucks come down there. So maybe they're not thinking about fuel quite yet. We're halfway through this thing.
Well, here we go. The iRacing.com safety vehicle in the pit lane. Racing once again. It's Carl Burke leading the field to green. Kalal, DeLong, De La Rosa, Corcoran, Green, McDonald, Gerwitz, and Sidor, the top 10. And a bunch of new names up here now, JB. We're starting to say some names I haven't said, well, ever.
Yeah, so a little attrition set in here. But also these guys that are new around here are starting to get the lay of the land, get to know some of these guys, and probably starting to get a little bit more comfortable. But since we have the chance, and I was really interrupted by an incident earlier, it's a great opportunity to look at some of these beautiful trucks. I know a lot of these guys, a lot of these teams spend a lot of time perfecting the look of these trucks and highlighting some of the sponsors that make this happen, like we would do here at Speed Racing Network. So I commend these guys on their efforts to get these trucks looking so sharp. They do a great job, and it just goes to show you kind of how this is a big community of drivers who use sponsorship dollars to make their racing operations go around, but also like to highlight them on a network like Speed Racing Network, where we can give them a little added value to that, something my team does quite a bit of. So some great looking schemes. We'll get to see probably a lot of variants of these. We have a throwback week at Darlington, which is in the playoffs this year, later this season. That's always an incredible week. The teams do a great job of coming up with awesome throwback schemes for that. But some incredible looking trucks out here today, and we'll get to dive in, highlight a lot of more of these sponsors on these trucks, and talk to some of these guys as the season rolls along.
Absolutely. Nice little skate through the field as we get back up here to the racing action. You see here just plenty of bright colors. I gotta say, for what it's worth, JB, a lot of these guys coming back, a lot of these guys in different colors. So that's also great news that they've either have found more partners to join them on this virtual racing journey, the sim racing journey, and or the partners are also inbound just to give them a new look, a fresh look for the season. And it looks great. This field looks completely different to the fields we saw last year.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you kind of how these teams operate. A lot of them operate like JBR does, and the fact that we are constantly negotiating sponsorship deals and talking to companies and seeing how we can highlight them and give them an avenue, maybe that's less expensive than what real life motorsports would cost, still to get them some exposure on such a great platform like iRacing and like Speed Racing Network. So just goes to show you kind of almost the whole e-commerce situation that revolves around the series and the league as a whole. It's always great to see these guys' creativity. We talked a little bit about the teams. We obviously have not introduced the teams yet, as some drivers are still working on finding their home. We have a few independent drivers out there, but once the dust settles on that, we'll give each team a little highlight. We'll get to meet some of those drivers, some of their partners, and we'll talk more about what the team championship means later on.
Absolutely. There's still more to sift through in terms of teams, JB, but for the most part, most teams returning, but a couple of new teams as well. That's going to be very intriguing to see how they shake up the team landscape.
Yeah, new teams are always awesome to see. We love to see when drivers bring a group of guys they're used to racing with to Speed Racing Network and get to experience the league for themselves. We've got a large influx of that this year in the truck series, so yeah, we'll highlight some of those new players, new team names that maybe you've not heard before, maybe some new sponsors you've never heard of before. Later on in the season, we get a chance to sit down. We'll sit down with some team owners too in some exclusive interviews, which you'll get first if you're a member, but we'll show on the regular broadcast here a little bit later this season. Great opportunity to kind of hear from some of these guys.
Absolutely. Nose to tail racing continuing on up front. A little bit of aggressive blocking there in the back, but it's Wally Babb and Carl Burke, the front two. Kalal, DeLong, De La Rosa, Corcoran, Green, McDonald, Gerwitz, and Sidor, the top 10 as we work lap 35 of 60 here at Daytona. And as they come across the stripe, 25 laps to go here from Daytona International Speedway. It's Carl Burke there across the stripe. And as you mentioned, JB, right, we have a membership program here. If you wish to become a member here at Speed Racing Network on our YouTube channel, more specifically, it's right next to the subscribe button, which, by the way, if that subscribe button is bright red and it doesn't say subscribed in past tense, just go ahead and do us a favor. Go and click that, make it gray, make it say subscribed in past tense, because you want to do that. You want to support us as we continue to improve our craft here, both the racing product, the broadcast product, and everything in between. here at Speed Racing Network, that'd be a great help. Also, if you wouldn't mind dropping a like on the show as well. But more about the Speed Racing Network membership program. A lot of perks come with that. Of course, that does come for a price for $4.99 a month. Maybe people will think the other way on that one, but for $4.99 a month, $4.99, you become a Speed Racing Network premium member here on the YouTube channel. Get access to loyalty badges, custom emojis, exclusive wallpapers, photos, early access to new content, so on and so forth. There's so much that the membership program is going to be adding on throughout the course of the season, and has already done with last season as well. So can't wait to see how that evolves. But if you want to be the first to experience it, you can join the Speed Racing Network Premium Membership Program today for $4.99 a month. Hitting that bright blue join button next to the subscribe button on our YouTube channel.
Yep, something we really look forward to growing here this season. We have ideas for a lot of cool special content with some of the teams and some of the owners, including some clips from some highlights for these races. So really looking forward to growing that this year. So definitely join if you want to be one of the first ones to see it. But definitely subscribe as well. You can catch this series here every Tuesday night, pretty much. A few off weeks here and there, but every Tuesday night. And then we'll have the Thermo Pro series debuting tomorrow night.
Very, very excited for that. Thermo Pro series, I know it's our Thursday series rebranded, but it is more than just a rebrand. It is revamped as well. It's going to be very, very fun. A bunch of new faces in that series as well. And so the Thermo Pro series, we're going to give them a warm welcome tomorrow. And you should join us tomorrow night, or on Thursday, Wednesday, January 24th. I'm so used to it being the Thursday series, so that's on me.
It is the NASCAR Xfinity cars. There's plenty of room to drive in it as well. So if you're interested in driving, you can go to speedracingnetwork.com, join our general Discord server, get in touch with the league admin, and we'll gladly help you to get enrolled today. Plenty of room in that series. So if you're interested in driving an SRN, I know the truck series is filled up, but plenty of spots there if you want to drive the Xfinity cars. Just like the trucks, 18-week schedule, same payout structure, $500 to the champion, and plenty of room to drive.
That's another thing we haven't really mentioned. We do have actually one truck heading off the racetrack now. That looks like, is that Carl Burke pitting from the lead pack all by himself? Oh my goodness, you do not want to do that at Daytona.
Well, his one teammate in the 65 was caught up in that accident, so maybe he's just like, I should do it by myself because I'm going to have to anyway. Interesting strategy, though, because he's definitely going to go a lap down. He's also going to lose a lot of time, so we'll see what comes of that. Some other guys dropping low here.
Some lap trucks.
Yep, the 29, the 5, it looks like. Just doing a good job getting out of the way. These guys handle it. The apron's almost always the safest spot. Maybe unless it's Kevin LePage down there, but everybody else, it's usually the safest place to be.
But what that does, JB, is that starts to raise the question, what are those fuel cells starting to look like on these trucks? What are those fuel levels like? Remember, Carl Burke was one of those drivers who stayed out on that most recent caution, JB, but he was not the only one by any means. Plenty of drivers did also stay out. So the fuel cells have to be starting to get a little lighter there, and I can't help but imagine that is going to start to come to play soon.
Yeah, especially if you're leading and up front. If you're one of the first couple trucks in line, you burn a lot more fuel than, let's say, Robert
and he was up there
36 inside. Yeah, Nathan, you can run like 50-60% throttle. That saves a lot of fuel. Like I said, we got a wreck. The 89's around.
Go Dines! I'm sorry, DeLong goes around, and oh no, the 36.
Oh, Robert Nestor's around.
Oh my goodness.
Right in the front of the field. Ooh, truck's still flying through here. Gotta be careful.
Oh, baby. You know what? I gotta give it up for that second pack. They did a great job avoiding the truck stopped in the middle of the racetrack.
You know, Mr. Carl Burke was probably on to something right there. Did not go a lap down before that caution came out. So
well,
he's gonna have enough fuel and be able to cycle to the front unless he comes back down. But
yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
That. Maybe he knew something was going to happen because he was kind of up there right in the front where that happened.
Absolutely. So we're going to go back and try to figure out what happened here Fortunately, Austin DeLong, massive suspension damage. That truck
Yeah,
is
that
not
thing
healthy.
is not driving in a straight line. The 36 looks to be decently okay, but yeah, that 89 truck, not sure it's got much steering capability right now by the looks of it.
No, not too optimistic in how that truck is going to perform. So we're going to go back and see what happened in this incident. And this all occurred here on the back straightaway. And you see here the pack all packed up. DeLong was going for the lead here. And he has Sean Corcoran hot on his tail. And we'll slow it down here. I want to get an overhead view of this one because this will tell the story. Corcoran laying the bumper there to the 89, but in the corner,
Not
but
always
he
a good
doesn't
thing.
lift. That's the other
Oh,
thing. He
yeah,
just
gets the
he
corner.
keeps his foot in it.
Teammates there as well.
See, you can push in the corner, but you have to be considerate of how the other truck's doing. You have to lift as soon as you see that truck get out of line.
That's the DG Motorsports sandwich up there up
Oh
top.
man.
All their trucks kind of got some piece of that. 36 nosed into the wall. Oh, then gets hit again by, I think that was the 86 possibly. A lot of new trucks, still trying to figure out exactly who everybody is. These guys were still coming in pretty hot, so the caution must have come out a little late. But luckily, nobody else. Looks like just going to be a 2 trucks around, maybe 5 or 6 truck incident. Definitely could have been a whole lot worse considering where this happened.
So there's a little more to that. We just caught the replay late there, but DeLong, he came out of line really quick and jumped out to block the lane too. So this could be a double-edged sword right now. Now he's been up there for a good 10 seconds at this point, but he did block a lane coming with a huge head of steam. And somewhat understandably, the 74 did not want to give up that momentum, but there's a little give and take. We're still 20 laps away from the finish.
Oh, and you also think about the fact that we got teammates here.
Yeah.
Like, the first 3 guys in line there on the same team, like that's
Oh, is Corcoran on that same team as well? Oh yeah, he is.
I believe they're all on that
I
same
see that.
team
I see the DG on there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, with the 86. So you think about that, that's one wreck that takes out, 3 of your 5 team members.
Wow.
And these guys are communicating with each other. So for those that don't know, everybody on your team is in a voice channel during the race to communicate, to strategize, call out wrecks, etc. So these guys are actively talking to each other. I don't know what's being said in that channel right now, but you would figure that maybe he'd be saying, "Hey, back off a little bit." Maybe the truck was starting to get a little loose. We talked about it being at the end of the fuel run. Back these trucks get lighter, so it makes it even a little bit more treacherous in the corners. But yeah, the 74 was just going to keep going, I suppose. But that's pretty typical for what causes a lot of these incidents here at these super speedways.
Well, just as you suspected, JB, we're gonna have Carl Burke staying out here, as many of these guys do hit the pit lane. Just come off the pit lane here.
And of course, Kyle Spees still in a good position in this race, like he normally is at these tracks. Man, just finds a way to make it happen and get her done. Couple new players up there that maybe have been taking it easy so far. You see Byron McDonald there, 9th place. He was taking it pretty easy. But then you also have the guys that have been up here all day, kind of. That's where they want to be. Scott Kalal there in 5th has been up there all day. Spees in 3rd has been up there all day. Kratky rebounding from lap down, which I don't think it's cycled through yet, so he's still showing up top, but I think he'll end up further back here when everything cycles.
I think, yeah, he just has to cross the line. I think his pit box is behind the line right now.
But rebound from him for sure, right? Started a lap down, was the first truck lapped in this event. But then, other guys we touched briefly but haven't really talked about a lot. You got the 86, the 9, the 66, the 74 right there. Wonder how much damage is on that 74. Well, he has less teammates in the race now, but that could cause some issues later in this race. It looks like it's starting to update and cycle through. Yep. So you see the 53. He's going to go back to the point. 51's going to come back down here. He's laps down anyway. And get out of the way. I think that's 65 will have to drop as well. But here we go. Getting ready. Radke now back in the top 10. Last year's champion. You got $500 richer from the Fiverr Truck Series last year, and that's what our championship um, champion, sorry, will get paid out this season. There's a big $500. We pay out the top 10 finishing positions in the point standings and the top 5 drivers each week. So lots of good prizes, lots of good money to be had. They do pay an entry fee every week, so it is an investment, but win a couple races, win that championship, you're coming out the other side pretty well.
Absolutely. You think about it, you put in, say you pay off your full season. Like not even considering that you can win races and put that money towards the races in the future. So you just pay off the full season. That's $180, and say you don't win a single race. Say you just finish, I don't know, 4th at every race, but you average out into that championship 5, and the only money you win is you win the championship that final race. Well, you win the championship, more than likely you got to win the race as well. You win 500, maybe $530. Subtract 180. I mean, you're up 300, $350 right there. Just with that. And that's not considering any wins or anything else.
I haven't met a single person that I've gone up to and say, "Hey, do you want to double your money?" And they're just going to say no.
Yeah.
They might want to hear more, but they're not going to tell you no. So, I mean, that's essentially what some of these guys are doing. And some of them come out even better because sponsors pay their entry fees, etc. So, yep, plenty of prize money here at SRN. Still open spots to race. So, get in touch with us if you'd like to join. We are planning a couple other fun series too, since we're only running 2 series this current season. So stay tuned for more of that. We'll have fun prizes and stuff coming up.
Absolutely. So we're going to get back to the racing action here as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down at the pit lane. The field is in the hands of Carl Burke once again, and racing will resume here from Daytona. Side by side out of turn number 4, it's Carl Burke and Kyle Spees. A big push from Scott Kalon, the high side. Jason Green, a playoff driver in the Fiverr Truck Series last season, is hot on the tail of Carl Burke, and we got a lot of fast drivers up here getting ready to get to work here. How about, looks like that is Michael Sidor up inside the top 5 here, JB.
Yep, new player to SRN up here in the top 5, mixing it up with these guys already. Obviously, another new player leading the event. But then look behind him. A lot of names we're really familiar with coming back into play. This field, we've seen some damage, seen some trucks have issues. A lot of guys with the trucks still look like they have plenty of pace. Probably a group of, I'd say, about 25, 26 trucks right here.
Yeah, good bit of trucks here. Looking like you'd be right on the money. Well, 23 trucks, actually. 24 if you... Yep, 24. But then I guess there's the lap trucks as well. So 24 in the lead lap in this pack. And then more still hanging around as well. Very active pack. Still a lot of energy. But you can see, once again, even though those are some of our more experienced drivers up on that high side, JB, in Spees, Kalaw, and Gerwitz, they are really feeling the effects of the draft. And I wonder if the draft package has been updated, has been worked on since, because there's a lot of movement that's not as natural as I've seen in past plate races up on that high side. Those guys seem really, really squirrely up high.
Well, the lighter fuel load obviously
sure.
Right? Like we run
Huge.
the 60%. You know, the new damage model makes pushing a slight different. iRacing is constantly updating tire models, track surfaces. Actually, the Daytona track surface did go for an update recently. I would tell a little age in it. I think they did some update for some abrasiveness, I would assume. But it does make a difference. You know, small in nature, but it does make a difference for them, and you're seeing a little bit of that. That's why I think you see these guys really aggressively push on the backstretch, because it's their best chance to really lock on and get a lot of momentum. Because it does look a little squirrely in the finish, And like I talked about, that front stretch, that tri-oval, also a very sketchy area, especially when it comes to net code and things like that. So we got some bouncing around there in the middle of the pack. I think
A
guys.
lot of movement there in
Like I
that
said,
pack.
pick a line, find a teammate. I mean, we got 13 to go, so you are actively at this point trying to find your teammates and position yourself to see what you can do to try to find your way up towards the front.
13 laps to go here from the Daytona International Speedway. Burke once again with the advantage down on the bottom side. Here comes Sidor, that third truck up at the inside, trying to tail Jason Green, and a lot of energy in this pack. 3 abreast in the middle of the field as everyone's bouncing off one another. It is now go time. The field is feeling it here at Daytona. As you see back here, we're right around that 11th, 12th place battle right here. Stalin, Radke back here. The energy's right behind them. These guys have been all over the place. 2 and 3, maybe 4 wide. Further back in the field up front, and it's stayed double wide, but the energy has been in the pushes, has been in the line leaders, has been in the energy between the top 2 trucks in each lane. And right now it's Burke and Green on the inside, but don't look too soon. You'll see Spees and Kalal rise once again on the high side.
Yep, Spees. Talking about him all the time. Oh, the 3 trucks around Radke.
Truck around at Jeffrey Radke, and this is gonna bring out the caution.
Ooh,
Wallapicki.
Don't see any trucks other than those 2 backwards. Good, that's a good sign. We only got 2 backwards. A little bit of more damage to the 3. He already had some issues going on. That looks to be a little bit more. That truck doesn't look like it's driving particularly straight either.
So we're gonna go ahead and grab a replay.
I think Walt Lepicki there just went for a little lazy spin. I don't think he's gonna be too worse for wear here. But that 3 definitely made contact with some other trucks.
Well, we'll be able to see it here, and we've been talking about this all day, JB. I think this is gonna be another one of those internet gremlins that has been attacking us most of the night here. And this one, once again, this is the 71 on the inside. That is Spencer Brown, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's Spencer Brown. Jeffrey Radke on the high side, and oh my goodness.
Oh. Well, what tells me a little bit of that story, 15 truck just nowhere to go. The 71 truck disappeared. And so when a truck, oh wow, Byron, great job. The 1 truck, great job. You see, I think the 13 gets it back in the back of the 46 a little bit there.
Oh,
Trip
looks like
gets a little.
Trip gets ran over by Jackson, and Jackson.
And that's what caused this Walt to spin. But when that truck disappeared, iRacing's trying to predict where it's going to be when it comes back, right? Naturally, it's got to try to position that truck. And it must have thought it was going to be in the middle lane. And unfortunately for Radke, you know, if this was real life, that's what a left front tire blowing out or a track bar mount breaking would look like. But in the virtual world, that is just iRacing predicting where that car is going to come back in the world after it disappears. Because you see that 71 disappear, and then you see the issues right there.
Wow.
Yep. Man, Byron does a great job. That's a tough avoidance right there. Love to see if we can get on board and maybe the 72 right there. Because when you're on that backstretch, even though you've got all that runoff area, it's flat. It's tough to tell which way sometimes these trucks are going to go when they start spinning. And that makes it even more challenging. In the corners, you kind of understand that they're going to go up the track first, and then it's going to self-clear to the bottom. But on the backstretch, you really have no idea. And when everybody starts fanning out, it becomes even more difficult. So really good job by the 72 right there.
Trying to find that 72 truck here. Byron McDonald right on board with it.
Sees it. It's like I said,
oh man,
you just don't know. Like it's so tough. And you know, people think, oh, if there's a wreck, I really want to tap on the backstretch because I can drive all the way down and avoid it. Well, unfortunately, everybody else usually has the same idea. That causes problems. But then you see, it looks like that 3 truck's going to spin just to the inside, then it washes back up, and then all of a sudden the 4 trucks right there, you really have nowhere to go. Great job by Byron. Very experienced driver. Has been around here quite a bit of time. So he knows what he's doing, and that's a move that's going to pay off right there.
Absolutely. And so while we're working under this caution period, we're going to take a step aside and hear from our partners. Once again, here at Speed Racing Network, don't go anywhere. Quick messages from our partners at SRN.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original eSport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Once again, we're here in the closing laps of the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series season opener here from Daytona International Speedway. Once again, I'm Emerson Arden. I have Jonathan Byer alongside, and we're here to bring you to the conclusion of round number 1 of 18 here on the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series from Daytona. We'll head on down back to the track, where 9 laps to go, 8 laps on the restart for these guys. Carl Burke and Kyle Spees, the front row. These guys have been at it all day long. Green Kalal, Gerwitz, Sidor, De La Rosa, Corcoran, Babb, and Kyle Ryan. The top 10.
Some guys we saw playing it a little safe earlier. They know it's go time now. We're under 10 to go. Just gonna be trying to find a way through these guys. It's tough when they get lined up 2 by 2, make that third lane work. But we're going to see some people try to force it to work here in a second.
Well, here we go. As the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane, racing once again from Daytona Beach. Here we are, everyone all packed up here as they work their way off of turn number 4. This is the closest we've seen these guys all night long, JB.
Yep, and this is the last area you want to see one of those internet gremlins pop their head again and have an issue. But if it's going to happen, unfortunately, in these circumstances, it's more likely with these cars closer together. But like we predicted, Everybody's 2x2 packed up. They'll probably ride this way for a lap or so here, try to get situated, find a teammate, find the pusher they like, and try to make another lane work. But we said his name probably 5 or 6 times already tonight, but Kyle Spees back up front, Super Speedway race.
And how about Carl Burke, second truck on the inside? He's got green. How about Sidor, that new name up there? Burke and Sidor, the two new names that have really punched their name up here in the last 20 or so laps. Sidor trying to make some more ground up, but he's been just outside that top 5 most of the day. 3 wide in. Oh no, we're gonna have more trucks going around.
Big wreck in the middle of the pack.
Oh my goodness.
Byron McDonald.
Oh
hit,
no.
Involved, 33-4. A couple of our big players involved there.
Big hits.
33 Corey Stahl right there. Looks like the 4 truck that's stuck right there. Yeah, he's going to have to tow.
Wow.
Byron McDonald had a huge hit there against the outside wall.
Well, we're going to go back and see what had happened here. Kind of saw most of this unfold live, but here we go.
Right there in the middle of the tri-oval again. Just wonder if it's another net code issue just because of that location. We'll see here. We got the 15 truck there in the middle. Zachary Hines, that's him in the 4 there on the outside.
A little bit of a push there from
the 33.
Byron. Just tight racing, and
Ooh, they come together.
there was some actual contact this time.
That's a truck sandwich.
Just,
right there.
I mean,
38 truck unfortunately involved.
You guys, it's hard racing coming to the end of this race. You know, can't really fault many people for making these kinds of moves.
That's what we talked about, you know, earlier. That's something that you just wouldn't see. But under 10 to go, everybody's going to turn it up a notch, trying to force something to happen. Again, no fault of their own, just trying to find a way to the front. Maybe try to find get a third lane going. Just unfortunate. Caught up a lot of trucks there. 84 is involved in another incident
one,
today.
man.
Really nothing of his doing all day, just getting caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Byron McDonald probably got the worst of that in the 72. That truck's probably done. Most of these guys maybe a little light damage, but
well, here we go. You saw most of this live, but we'll see one more from this angle here. Wow.
Yep, hard hits there in real time. A lot of guys escape through the grass. It's a good option, but you do have to be careful. Truck doesn't steer well through the grass, so you usually just want to take your foot off the gas and the brake pedal. Just let the truck roll through the grass, get back to some pavement, and try to find your way out of it. 15 looks like he had a really tough time steering that truck after he got it back going. Probably a lot of suspension damage there was the cause of that.
There he is, and all right, we'll find our way back here. We get the restart. Fast approaching. This one coming with about 6 laps to go. Sorry, 3 laps to go. We're nearly approaching over. Actually, this is overtime here, JB. We are gonna blow past the scheduled distance by 1 lap, and this could do it here. This one's gonna be intriguing.
Yeah, I was just looking at that there when that caution came out. It was obviously going to be a short caution because nobody was going to pit unless they had damage. So I guess it was just the right amount of time where it is going to extend it into a green-white checker or overtime finish. Here at Speed Racing Network, we do 3 attempts and 3 attempts only. So this will be the first of 3, maybe the only.
Well, here we go. We're going to try it as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down the pit lane. It is overtime racing here from Daytona. Kyle Spees, Carl Burke, the front row, and here we go.
cars starting to position back there. You see Scott Claw quickly get to the back bumper of Kyle Spees. They're going to want to work together. Jason Green, one of the best pushers that we've seen all night there on the top. He's going to get behind Burke. And those two are going to kind of be what controls what happens with these two lines. After that, you're going to either have to get a third lane work in or try something special to break up these top four.
Well, here we go, side by side. This time by will be the white flag here from Daytona if they can make it back around. Spees, Burke, the front two, and everyone's packing up behind. There's not a lot of energy generating from behind, but that could change here in about half our lap or so. 1 lap to go here from Daytona. Who's gonna get back to the line first?
I like the way that top line looks. I said it at the end of the stage, and for the same reason here. Got one of the best pushers behind you. You got that momentum off the corner. You can drag that bottom line down with a little side draft. I really like the way the top line's looking. I know it doesn't look great like right now, but give it some energy here. You're going to see that bottom line start to check up. You're seeing it right there.
Speed's got a huge head of steam there. Is there 3 abreast here? Oh, we got trucks going around. Oh, many trucks are going to go around. This is going to be a big one. Oh, my goodness. They're wrecking everywhere.
Yep.
Back up front, though.
They're going to race to the line.
Side by side, 2 wide tandem. Speeds down low. Burke up high to the stripe for the season opener. Carl Burke is going to win here at Daytona.
Another classic Speed Racing Network Super Speedway finish. A lot of trucks got caught up in that last wreck, unfortunately, but Carl Burke brings it home in his SRN debut.
Wow.
1 for 1.
1 for 1. Not a bad record.
Nope. Kyle Spees, one of the best super speedway racers that's ever raced in Speed Racing Network. Fireworks going off on the backstretch. And it's just second. Jason Green, probably the best pusher of the night.
How about
Did
this?
everything right, P3.
Kyle Spees come up, show some respect. That was a good, hard-fought finish between those guys. Both of these guys, Spees up front all day long. Burke, a little bit of that strategy mid-race, but once he got up there, JB, Burke was a player all evening long.
Well,
and
we were really confused when he pitted alone there.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that worked out, man.
That, who knows? That could turn into what is now considered to be a race-winning move.
Well, he is the lone driver sitting in Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series victory lane, and he'll approach the start-finish line with reason to celebrate. And Carl Burke, well, he'll blow past the start-finish line. Maybe he'll come down here. Maybe it's a little easier to do some donuts down here. I pit exit. No, oh no!
His teammate pulled up behind him. He just was like, I'm done. That's
Wow.
the high side racing drivers' new team here to SRN. They're also 1 for 1 because they're making this their SRN debut tonight as well. So good job by those two. Great job by Carl Burke winning that race.
Well, we're going to go ahead and hear now from our race winner, driver of that number 53, Carl Burke. And here we are with the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series season opener race winner, driver of the number 53 truck. We have Carl Burke alongside. And Carl, congratulations on a thrilling victory here at the Daytona International Speedway. Tell us how you did it.
Well, I kind of lucked into it. I was on a fuel strategy that didn't match everybody else. And with the caution so late, it worked out. I thought I was going to have to pit.
Fair enough. Yeah, there was quite a few cautions that altered the strategy throughout the day today. But what caution really set it for you? Or I guess what lap really set your strategy up where you saw that light at the end of the tunnel that this was possible for you?
That last caution late there is what saved me. Because I was close without that caution, but I was questionable.
Well, there you go, man. A great start to the beginning of the season here for you, Carl. Now, I know it's an 18-race season, but how will you take those momentum? How will you flip it around and keep this momentum going heading into Chicagoland and the races beyond?
Well, it's my first season with these guys, so I'm still kind of figuring out the the guys, but I've been running lots of laps at Chicago, and we'll just hope for the best. That's all we can do.
All right, Carl. Well, congratulations once again on winning tonight's Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series season opener here at Daytona. Best luck to you the rest of the way. Best luck to you next week at Chicagoland.
Thank you. Hey, I'd like to give a shout out to my sponsors, Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking, JRM Racing Motors, and thank Glytch for sponsoring the series. And thanks Speed Racing Network for broadcasting.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate the kind words and congratulations once again.
Thank you. It's great.
And we're here with tonight's third place finisher here in the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series season opener here from Daytona. Jason, it was a wild one out there, but how did you manage to sneak out of here with a third place finish?
Yeah, no, it was a wild one for sure. It was one of those where you think that you just have to kind of avoid some of the wrecks there. Check that box off, stay up front, try and keep it clean, check that box off, and then just really hoping that the pushes kind of came the right way there, and then we're able to kind of just keep it moving forward. Yeah, I'm really happy with the third place finish. I think going in, expectations were somewhat high after last year, coming back now for season 2, or my second season. That's season 6 for you guys. But yeah, no, really excited. It's a great first finish.
Yeah, absolutely, Jason. And you are coming off a pretty good season last time out. Made the playoffs, if I remember correctly. And from there, Jason, you are once again starting the season off right with a third place finish. It's going to be a nice boost in points for you to get this season going the right way. So how do you spin this now? I know that this season is 2 races shorter, really in the playoffs, but the regular season still 13 races. How do you spin this in the right way for you over the course of the next 12?
Yeah, no, it's first off just continuing to have these top 5 finishes. I think that was my thing last year, was just really trying to continue top 10, top 5 every week. So again, definitely want to try and continue that. It's my first year with Bird Dog Racing, so having some of the guys on the team now that give a lot of really good information and some strategy going into some of this, and we're already talking about practicing next week for Chicago. So it's really nice to feel the support, and yeah, just gotta keep up these really good finishes.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, a playoff driver last season, already looking good to start this season. Congratulations on the third place finish night, and best luck to you the rest of the way next time out at Chicagoland.
Thank you, Emerson. Appreciate it. And I got to shout out my mom. Happy birthday, Mom. It's tomorrow. Maybe when you watch it, it'll be your birthday then. But I got to shout her out. Happy early birthday. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations once again. And of course, that was our third place finisher, driver of the number 55, Jason Green. And JB, man, it was a great night tonight. Our season opener, I'd say that race was a success. Great racing, great battles, showcase some of the new guys, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of carnage, maybe the internet gremlins, not what we wanted. But overall, a fun night here from Daytona.
Classic Speed Racing Network, Super Speedway race, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much on the strategy side, right? Short race, not a long green flag run where we saw green flag pit stops, but a good amount of mixing it up. We saw a good mix of new players and existing drivers working together, which is always cool to see. We got to see a lot of new sponsors, new paint schemes, something that makes you really excited about what's going to happen over the next 17 races. A long way to go. But if this is any indication what Season 6 holds for the Glytch Truck Series, I'm excited about it.
And before we forget, I just remembered we got some race results to look at tonight here, JB. And so we'll go through them as they'll be here up on your screen. And how about it? It's Carl Burke with the race victory this evening. 1 for 1, as you mentioned, JB, on his Speed Racing Network career. Finishing second home will be Kyle Spees at a 25, and a 55 of Jason Green will finish in third. Finishing fourth will be Scott Kalal. Fifth will be Wally Babb. Sixth, Daniel Park, after making a very aggressive move on that final lap. He'll shoot himself up to that 6th position. Aaron Gerwitz, who was up front all day long, he'll escape with a 7th place finish. About Bob Nestor, JB, he was involved in an incident there towards the end of the race, and he'll finish 8th. Finishing ninth will be the 3 of Jeffrey Radke, last season champion, somehow finds a way to recover after that spin, and Joshua Marcy with the top 10.
Daniel Milligan in 11th, Nathan De La Rosa coming on 12th, Derek De Silva 13th, Ben Park 14th, Spencer Brown 15th, Gregory Thurlow 16th, Andrew Harris 17th, Jason Kratke 18th, Sean Corcoran in 19th, Kyle Ryan rounding out the top 20.
Finishing 21st, we had Michael Sidor up there at the front towards the end. He ended up not being able to bring it back to the checkers. Dylan Godinez will finish 22nd. 23rd will be the 64 of Walt Lepicki. 24th then James Jackson at 29 machine. 2 laps down. First truck 2 laps down. James Jackson was. Jason Tripp 25th, 2 laps off the pace. It's Jeffrey Vickery finishing 26th in that 51 machine, 3 laps down. Dustin Sloutier in that 27th spot, 3 laps off the pace. How about Ben Morrow? Not the best finish, but he was up there a good bit today in that 75 machine. He'll be 28th, 5 laps down. Corey Stahl 29th, also 5 laps off the pace, and Byron McDonald rounds out the top 30 with 6 laps off the pace.
The rest of these trucks involved in incidents that took them out of contention tonight. Zachary Hines in 31st, Austin DeLong 32nd, Sean Long in 33rd, Dalton McKinney, last year's winner of this race, 34th, Aiden Graham 35th, and Matthew Greathouse with that engine trouble winds up 36th.
So unfortunate for the ending of those guys. Heartbreaker Row takes over there towards the back of this field, but that's going to happen here, JB. Large outpouring driver list here for Daytona. 36 drivers. We kind of had it all and saw it all today. Fun race here tonight, and of course we couldn't do it without all the help from our very supportive partners here at Speed Racing Network. Glytch, with make sure you use code SRN10 for 10% off of your Glytch purchases. Of course, a shout out to ThermoPro, who is our series partner for Wednesdays. You'll hear more about them tomorrow. Make sure you use code ThermoPro Team for 15% off of your ThermoPro purchases. And of course, Admin Box has been on your screen all evening long. Make sure you use code SRN-box, that's BOXX, for 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. And of course, a huge shout out to the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform that hosts our Speed Racing Network events. We, of course, are very grateful that iRacing has provided a great motorsport simulations platform that we can carry out these great league events on. Once again, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe, and explore all the benefits of the Speed Racing Network premium membership program. For $4.99 a month, it gets you access to a lot of things here and the plethora to come here in the future. If you want to be the first, you can hit that join button for $4.99 a month to get access to the Speed Racing Network premium membership program. And of course, if you go ahead and reach our social media outlets. Very active on our socials and looking to only get more out there. Our Facebook page at facebook.com/Speed Racing Network, our X page at Speed Racing Net, our Instagram at Speed Racing Network, our YouTube, of course, youtube.com/Speed Racing Network, our Twitch at Speed Racing Net, our LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/Speed Racing Network, and of course the website where you can keep up with everything SRN when it comes to points, schedules, rules, news, and all that is going to be at speedracingnetwork.com. But as far as tonight, that'll do it from Daytona. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Speed Racing Network, Jonathan Byer, and myself, Emerson Arden, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night when the ThermoPro Series kicks their season off right here, or next